Welcome back to the channel, guys. And yes, guys, Mercedes-AMG have unveiled their all-new first-ever incarnation in the all-new Mythos lineup, which is properly dedicated to pay homage to the good old racing days, which basically paved the path for where Mercedes is today. And to properly start the flame of the Mythos series, here we have the all-new Purespeed, properly being the successor to the legendary Mercedes SLR McLaren Sterling Moss, which is one of the best outcomes from one of the best automotive marriages to ever take place on the face of the earth. And of course, that properly being a legendary car to begin with. This follows in the exact same line, being a proper open top barchetta, but properly throwing it back to literally over a century on its own, because of course, first off, the livery, the red to black with the number 10, throws it back to the 1924 Targa Florio endurance race, where of course the Mercedes Tipo Indy 2-liter took victory at the hands of Christian Werner. Hence the proper paint job, which resembled the exact paint job and livery of the Tipo Indy 2-liter of 1924, and the same number on its own. So that on its own was a very beautiful ode to the good old days. But that's not all. It also throws a note back with the buttresses behind the seats, of course, to the legendary Mercedes 300 SLR, which took the 1955 Mille victory at the hands of Dennis Jenkinson and Sterling Moss. And of course, Sterling Moss properly paved the way for the SLR Sterling Moss on its own. But nevertheless, a lot of beautiful racing cues. And of course, we already know that this will obviously get a V8. This is literally a proper collector's item. And speaking of it being a collector's item, only 250 of these bad boys will be made. But the main tiff with this is it does not look good, especially the front end. The shark nose front end on its own is literally similar to what you can find on the Mercedes-AMG one, and to be honest with you, it does not match. I mean, just take a look at the front end. Although it does have all the racing DNA and all the racing pedigree to it, the front end is not the best angle if you ask me. The rear end is decent to say the least, but nevertheless the front end really throws it off. A proper ugly design. This is sort of in line with what Ferrari did with the Dorici Cilindri, but I mean, this is a literal step back. I would have preferred, first off, the complete SLR Sterling Moss on its own is properly a Grand Tourer design. First off, a long front bonnet, which you can see is present on the SLR Sterling Moss, the SLR HTK, every single SLR model carried on onto the SLS on its own. I love the proper Grand Tourer fact of a long front bonnet with the front mounted engine, but nevertheless, this properly is based on the platform of the AMG GT and the AMG SL on its own, making it the not proper worthy successor to the legendary SLR Sterling Moss, if you ask me. But nevertheless, if you would have asked me what proper chassis would be the right one, I would want it to be the GT Black Series, because that is a proper successor, if you ask me, to the proper long range of a Grand Tourer. But that is no Grand Tourer, because that is a track worthy weapon with over 700 horsepower with a 4-liter twin turbo V8 as its powerhouse, and that would have been the perfect chassis with the long front bonnet and with the proper sleek curves that you'd want in a proper legendary Merc. And of course, you remove the windscreen and the roof off of that, put in this F1 inspired halo, put in the buttresses, throwing it back to the 300 SLR of 1955, you would have gotten a perfect formula for a perfect launch to the all new Mythos series. And of course, this is still the concept car, but we have gotten confirmation that this will begin production in 2025, so that is a good thing to know. And of course, only 250 of these to be made. But the main problem is the design, guys. It is not at all good. The front end is completely horrendous to begin with. I wish, as I said, guys, I wish that the proper wheelbase and the proper platform that they would have used for this would have been the proper GT Black Series, because that would have suited it well more, and they shouldn't have tampered with the front end to begin with on its own. I mean, the AMG one on its own is in a complete realm of its own, given the fact that it's literally F1 derived with the exact same power plant as what can be found in new gen F1 cars, i.e. the 1.6 liter turbocharged double overhead camshaft V6 as its main power plant with electric assistance, giving it a complete monstrous power output of 1063 horsepower. And not to mention the fact that that is the top dog of the Nürburgring Nordschleife, as it has the top step of the fastest production car to ever lap the ring, and that's what Mercedes is, and that's what motorsport stands for in terms of Mercedes. But coming to the Purespeed, in terms of the motorsport aspect, it is a very beautiful representation with how it literally pays homage to a century on its own, to the 1924 Targa Florio win, to the 1955 Mille victory, as well as the complete new gen F1 inspired halo, showcasing that it not only pays homage to the past but to the present and the oncoming future. And it was literally those line of events that literally paved the path for where Mercedes is today in terms of automobilia, in terms of F1 motorsport, you name it. Those line of events properly determined and properly put them on the path to where they are right now. And well, what do you guys think? But of course guys, we already know this will get a V8 and it will most likely be an M177 V8. And as I said, the main problem of this is the proper design, where the complete shark nose front end just does not suit this. The intakes reminiscent of what can be seen on the AMG one just do not suit this in any way, and the so-called long bonnet does not suit this, and the complete SL rear end, I mean, come on Mercedes, you all can do better. And of course I've given my 2 pence on this, where the proper solution is the GT Black Series. Take the engine from that, take the proper body, give it the beautiful extending long bonnet that can be seen from miles on from the driver's seat, and the complete beautiful front end, remove the wing and strip the windscreen and the rooftop, and you've got yourself a worthy successor to the legendary SLR Sterling Moss. And well, as I said, it will obviously get the M177, but of course it would have to be more powerful than that of the AMG GT, which makes 585 horsepower. And well, since they will most likely, according to my idea, take the GT Black Series, they might as well take the exact same power plant and tune it up to over 800 horsepower. And well, you've got yourself a winning formula to properly kick off the all-new Mythos lineup. And well, what do you guys think? And of course guys, the only problem I have is with the design. I have no problem with what this thing stands for in terms of this literally paying tribute to the good old racing days with its racing DNA, racing pedigree, and to the fact that it literally pays homage to the past and the present. It's something that I really love. But of course, Mercedes can really do better and properly kickstart their new Mythos lineup with a proper 1000 out of 10, and properly they have to turn this from this to this. And of course, to properly compare this to something of its own nature, I give you the Bussync GTR Speed Legend. While it maintains the beautiful power lines and the proper design lines of the Mercedes AMG, it is properly stripped of the rooftop and the windscreen and given the proper monstrosity of a complete open top barchetta, and boy does this look way better than that of the Purespeed. But nevertheless, this is to properly compare it and show what different designs are, and this literally shows that Mercedes can do better with it, given the fact that this is of course the concept variant. The proper production version is not yet revealed, so Mercedes have got plenty of time to right this wrong and to properly turn this from a complete 0 out of 10 into a complete 1000 out of 10. As I said guys, the proper solution to that is the GT Black Series. Just borrow the body, strip it off the wing, strip it off of the complete windscreen and the rooftop, and you've got yourself a beautiful and worthy successor of the legendary SLR Sterling Moss, and a proper kick-ass supercar to properly kickstart the all-new Mythos lineup. And well, what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And well, thanks a lot for watching guys. Remember to that sub button and click the bell to ensure you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks a lot for watching guys. See ya.